might save you with the YouTube scheme. Found a sweet girl, half your age, so sweet. Now she's your content, our love so cheap. You say it's real, but we all see the game. Poverty porn with the romantic frame. She's your backdrop, your exotic prize, while you count the clicks from your paradise. Oh, don't be that guy with the vlog and a lie, selling a story while you're living the high. You say it's true love, but the comments all know you're just another old man with a show. Don't be that guy. You built a channel off her yes and dear, but the second she speaks, you cut her clear. She's so shy, folks know she's just aware that her life's your script. Do you even care? You say she's happy, but we see the strain. Another brown face in your cash grab frame. Her family's struggling, but your Patreon's high. Tell me, hero, who's really saving lives? Oh, don't be that guy with a vlog and a lie, selling a story while you're living the high.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. Could anybody hear that echoing? Or it's playing twice? So dealing with a few things this morning. Good morning. Just probably 20 minutes ago, I'm hearing this yap, 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 yap outside. I thought it was one of our cats that were outside. Turns out China, the previous cats, we know she's been living somewhere else when she has these cats, or just has them randomly in somebody's yard, which is a stray cat. Seems like her kids were just out in the street, like there are motorbikes going around them. And these guys are little. They can't be more than 3 weeks old, maybe. And they're out there weaving in traffic. So I brought them in the yard. I think I'm going to have to, because we cannot take on any more in the house. And we're already feeding like almost every stray in the neighborhood, which we think half of them belong to somebody. So I'm going to have to put a barrier so they can't get under the gate. But China seems to know them, so she's sniffing on them. But they could just be random cats that somebody sent by our gate. That's what it looks like to me. But it was funny that one was directly in front of the house and the other one was actually in the street. So I can't. They will definitely have to. Yeah, see, I think it's glitching. I don't know if you can see that or I'm seeing it. Yeah. So I'm checking to see if it's me glitching. No, it's froze up. I can see we're frozen. So yeah, it is. Don't know because the internet's on. So that means that is Restream having an issue. It keeps saying reconnect, reconnecting, but yet it's not holding the live streams, which is probably why doing StreamYard was the reason to stay with StreamYard. Because I'm having all kinds of issues. The previous stream, well, actually the last two we've had issues. It wouldn't allow me to take it down the screen for the video when it automatically goes off. And it did this time, but now it's just glitching. So, okay, well, let's see how it goes. I don't know if you heard me say I'm rescuing cats, but they have to stay in the yard. I can't save them all. Georgia said we can't save them all. And 2 more of them are outside. But it's sad. It's very, very sad. And I was just about ready to bring them in, and I'm like, we still have the 3. So there's no way, we get them healthy, we rehome them, we've been keeping them, and so we just can't. We just can't. So Anyways, today is going to be about another homeless expat. I only have bare minimal information on him. So today's going to be an open discussion again on what can actually change this, what changed it for the guy. I got some updated information this morning. Also, I'm going to give a few updates on what's going on to update you guys in case you don't know. It looks like Mountain Mama and Honey Bear, or whatever she calls him, Sugar Bear, Honey Bear, Sweetie Bear, Sweetie Pie. What does she call him out in the mountain there? She just put out a video just a little bit ago, and evidently we rent space in her head because multiple channels covered this, and she was very specific on her video. So she really fretted over that, and we rented some space in her head. She went on how everything's fine, that he's in Bohol with the new girl and she's coming back and everything addressed. She said basically she's passive, a typical Filipino, Filipina, with the trait. And she was very passive about it. How, oh, I've made $300. I'm not using money. This money is not for my retirement. No, sweetie, we don't have a retirement plan, huh? You just had a kid that's going to pay you for 18 years. So what are you talking about? So she claimed that she made X amount of money and gave it to the school. Well, I call bullshit on that because you don't get paid yet. You're always 30 days behind. I mean, I think if you get so much in there, you can withdraw, but you didn't get paid for that already. Usually it's a processing. If you're paid monthly, then it's a process of a month behind. But she said she already gave it to the school. She didn't get paid yet. So, honey pie. Okay. Also, looks like Widow Thornton Jen is quitting YouTube. She just announced that, I think, in the last 24 hours. She said it's too stressful, too many people picking on her, which, sweetie, we gave up on you a long time ago, so it ain't including us. She's had a lot of negative, and that's just part of YouTube. You realize how much we get, negative, positive, and otherwise. So she's not going to stay in the game. She wasn't in it very long to begin with. She had started the other channel. She barely did anything after she got married. Then she started using mostly her kid and bragging about all the new stuff she just bought. Out of content yet, sweets? And she said that if you see her in the streets, her exact words were, let me see, she had said it exactly. If you see her in the streets, pretend you don't know her. That she doesn't want to have to address, dang cats nipped at the microphone. She doesn't want to have to address people in her past. She's got enough going on with the kid and being a widow, and that she's done with YouTube. Also, the Russian expat Vitaly, I guess there was a request to have him where he could leave the country and be deported. They said no again. They transferred him to another facility, and looks like he's lost weight. Like, I mean, although he was kind of semi-buff, it's not like Heidi fluff. He's buff, but he's even skinnier. Now he's starting to look like Filipino to me. And looks like he's got a beard growing in, and he wants out. He's pretty stressed. And so spur of the moment words of he kind of wished he would get arrested. Looks like it's going to set in. So he's in for the long haul. I bet he does at least a year there. Also, they're claiming that tourism rebounded, which is weird because twice they announced it wasn't. Officially, they are saying, tourism board is saying that there was almost 6 trillion in tourism money that came through the Philippines. I don't know about that. But they said that's like 108 billion. You realize the difference 108 billion US dollars would make in the Philippines? So who knows? Maybe they can throw a parade. So, okay, I see your comments there. Let me see, Sarah. Yeah, I see Tony's. You're right, Sarah. I don't see yours either. See, I don't understand. Yeah. Yeah, see, and we could see it the last time. They're showing up in the app. It's something then, so maybe it's a combination of YouTube that's actually holding things. I'm not sure because I see Joseph's in the house, Tony, Black Grandpa, Bear in the Philippines. Good morning. Chosen One, I see you in the house. Chosen One, your comment got held just for the hell of it. Smelling my underwear, seeing if I can't get away with wearing them for another 4 days. Thank you for letting us know. And so, good morning, Lack of Spot. So, I'm not sure, Sarah. I would say, yeah, I would say go out and go back in. I think it's a combination of them both because now it looks like it's streaming fine. See, we connect the streaming software with YouTube, and it kept coming up on the streaming software that was reconnecting. More than likely, 90% that is Restream, but I've known YouTube to cause glitches. And with the new computer, and we're running Windows 11, which is the newest, most up-to-date situation, and everything else, like everything's like, I think, as a matter of fact, I think our stuff has pulled ahead and out already. You know how you get new stuff and it's ahead of things, like when all the new versions of Windows come out? I think that's what's going on. I don't think their apps are keeping up with what we have, so we got to wait for it to balance out. It's like when Windows 95 to 98 and then XP and all of this. So, and I even think this one's Pro. So it's definitely having some issues. Good morning, Cindy. So that's the update I have in the Philippines. Still no George. So just for word, I wasn't going to really mention it, but I see that somebody had mentioned about George. So let's see. Let me go through here. Hey, roomies. Yeah, I didn't see any of it. Yeah, I don't like this new streaming software. George is here in spirit. If he won't get out of bed, that's his issue. Here's the thing. There's a lot that I'm learning about relationships, and I can ask him to come. If he won't come, that's on him. If he won't move forward with it, if he doesn't want to talk about anything, if he just wants to slide in under the radar, nothing I can do. Nothing I can do anymore about when, how, what. So, what's up, Tony? No. And being he's not appeared, what is this, the second or third live stream? I told you, I bet it's a month or two if he comes back, because he was already starting last year. If I calculate, he's probably missed a quarter of the live streams, and I can't. I'm not going to. It used to be on a nagging matter that I would say, hey, why aren't you out doing this? And can you go get some footage? And then if he didn't do it, then it was just a nagging wife. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ask him anymore. And he evidently, as of this moment, has made his choice very clearly. Yeah, I see the other message. Tony says it's back. Sarah says she's seen it's back. Hey, what's going on, Bear in the Philippines? Good to see you. Good morning, all. And yes, guys, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you guys seen the video of, I even forget what the name of their channel is. That's how insignificant the whole situation was. I just call her Peachback Mountain, and somebody was like, what does Peachback Mountain mean? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about a Filipina that cheated on her husband, and they've had a channel for years. American man, Filipino wife. They're not married, and they're really not together anymore. And they went on, collected money from people and stickers. Most of it was given to them as a couple, and then they're talking about they give to a school all the time. Now, I did see that they're doing that. But she had a baby with another expat. And so she's going to live at the house. She's going to let him and the new girlfriend move in. They're in Bohol. And then they're going to stay together. They're not married. Why? Because she's married already. So all this stuff came up at once, and she's this morning like, well, that's my decision. And I said what I had to say, and I'm breaking it down to you the way I seen it. And it doesn't really matter to me. I'm glad you guys still stuck around, and he's enjoying his life, and it's none of y'all's business. And I'm like, Peachback Mountain. And when I say that, I kind of joke about Brokeback Mountain, loving the mountains and stuff, and female being a peach. And so there's like a whole thing going on. But the whole situation of that is just kind of crazy, but she came forward. So let me know what you guys think of that, or if you've seen her video that caused them $300 US worth of money. And thank you. Also, Thornton, Miss Thornton, Widow Thornton gave up on the channel. And then Vitelli in the tourism. Do you guys actually believe it was over 107 billion worth of tourism already this year? Just something's off on that for me, because I used to think that every other person here was an expat. And it just seemed like that. Like, there goes another old white dude, there goes another white dude, there goes another old dude, and there goes some young kids. And it seemed like that, but it's really small. Like, the amount of people that are here is less than 0.5%, not even that. It's not the numbers, but I'm not believing it's bringing that much money, because most of them is cheap ass bastards. Because a lot of them are coming here to be so cheap they don't even want to spend. And I was hearing people talk about tips, reading through Facebook, and then one guy was like, he gives 100 pesos for everything, and that's pretty much our standard, unless they bring in a Billy Buy-in box, or like we're at like Candy Palace or another bigger place where we spend a lot more money because the prices are up there. Then you would give a percentage. That's just us. But we had other people that said they only give 70 pesos on a 2,000 peso meal. It's like a $40 meal. So they come here to be cheap. So to spend that kind of money, I don't know where they're getting the numbers. And like George would say, it's bullcrap. It's all fluff and stuff. Fluff and stuff. So I have not figured. I guess I will come through on the stickers. And again, guys, go ahead and comment and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. That's what causes it to grow. We grow it organically. It's not done by running advertisements. It's not done by, everything's been organic since we've had this channel. So appreciate you guys being in here. And let me know if somebody wants one of those kittens outside. Man, I was like, I started to bring him in the house inside of the little bucket, and I'm like, I can't. I was like, wake up, Heidi. And I feel bad. I feel really, really bad. The animals are everywhere. And, you know, we have had a lot of them come in. I probably say we've brought in, 2 of the cats have had babies and had a batch of babies, and then we've rehomed them. I can't keep doing that. The cost sometimes can be out there. So it's, yeah. CO, they like buses. The next one is right around the corner. Yeah. Honey pie. Yeah, that's what you guys call them. Sugar pie. Sugar pie. Sugar pie. So, going to drive me nuts, that dog, today. And when I opened the gate to go get the kittens, because the one was dead in the middle of the street, dang Willie took off. But let me tell you what, he came back right away. Usually he'll run up the street like a racehorse. But no, it's hot out there. So the sun is directly beating down, and he immediately came back. So at least there's shade on the porch. There's a covered like pin, and then they use the trike as a cover, or they get up on the seat and sleep in it. So the e-trike has become a pet shelter in itself. But heartbreaking. Jen's new sponsor doesn't want her on the internet. Okay, I believe that because she made a comment. She made something that made me feel that she doesn't want to, like, deal. Who did I see on the internet the other day? It blew my mind. Oh, Chubbs Dub C's woman. You know, this isn't throwing shade. It's truth. She just did a live where she was all by herself with her friend playing pool. And then she's been doing videos she does these ones where she's mocking or like mimicking, I'm pretty. Well, I know I'm pretty, and that type of stuff. Like, she's doing all these beauty things. I was like, way to go, girl with confidence, you know. But her official simping, you know, like magnet situation has been turned on too high. So yeah, so that's probably it, because there's no way that Thornton, with the way he lived and the way he talked and assets, and we know he came here flat broke. Bitches, I said I was broke when I came here. So all of a sudden, if George is getting a new car and all of a sudden he's got all these fancy clothes and he buys a place up in Candy Palace and all this shit happens, you know he got himself a sponsor, people. So she got like an AC unit. I don't think I could even think about replacing this. We barely got by doing the computer because we've been saving money. And that was an emergency because the computer was 5 years old. But an AC unit, a new car, new floors, repainting things, the furniture, we've got furniture in here, but our shit looked like IKEA, and hers looked like what do they call that? I'm trying to think of the expensive one in the U.S. Not Stuckey's. Stuckey's, I think, is a restaurant or a truck stop. I can't think of it. I'll probably shout out something from the 80s. But if you guys didn't know, I'm hyped on coffee. So I've been trying to get back on, uh, heel again about cutting sugar out and junk. Told George no more donuts, and I have to stick to it because the lupus is, I could barely get out of bed yesterday, and I know that's the problem, plus the weight gain and everything. So I'm back to the intermittent fasting the last couple days, but I've got so much more energy. I even think my skin is starting to, you know, come out there and stuff. Shout out Black Grandpas, and I keep getting my hair stuck on the mic. All right, yeah, Sarah was saying she's on YouTube, so let me see if I can. Thank you, Linda. I'll be down there in a minute about the sticker. Thank you so much, sweetie. Discerning Dash. I'll get to that here in a minute. Slick Rick is in the house. Yeah, I don't know, Sarah, if you went back out and came back in. There's Discerning Dash. Yeah, and that's another thing I started mentioning. Busy day. Landlord hasn't shown up in the last couple days. It's weird. He either shows up at the crack of dawn or he comes like at 8 o'clock at night. And my ass is like hunkering down. The house is clean. Dinner is cooked. And then he wants to come. And I'm like, I'm not going to get up. I'm just not going to get up. And I suspect he'll show up mid-afternoon, being rent's a couple days past due. I think he's got another job. Let's see what else. Probably packages delivered. That's normal. And as a matter of fact, I had a troll that came in, and I don't mind mentioning this one. We usually try not to feed the little buddies, but he came in and created an account today. Could be a family member. Hell, it could be George when he's in his office sent it to me. God knows where it came from. And they sent a message saying, reference of me, would not last more than a week by myself in a foreign country. And I'm like, oh shit, bitch. What you talking about, Willis? Hello, George is here and I'm still alone. That's just the way it is. It's marriage. But I'm like, yeah, nobody carried me in the Middle East. Nobody carried me in Canada, the UK, and all these other places I've been. What you talking about? Probably the same person sitting in the US on the couch that does nothing but attack people. And it's like, you think it was hilarious. I was like, what? So of course I responded back. I've been a lot of places. You haven't probably left your couch. Who put Sarah in the sin bin? Is that what that is? I better check to make sure she didn't get put. That wouldn't make any sense, but I'll go check to make sure. Never know. We've had glitches like that. Like we had all the moderators on there. It took them all off. We had to re-put them back on again. I put you in the sin bin, Sarah. See, I don't see you. It's our channel, and let me go check in the YouTube studio, make sure. So a lot going on today. Yeah, it's not going to show me there either. No, it shows, because if you were thrown in the sin bin, it would show that you were when I went to the channel that you're actually coming through on. So it's not. It's clearly showing that you're. And let me make sure, because I know you have multiple Facebooks. Yeah, it says Sarah2676 shows the same purple icon. So yeah, I don't know. I have to make sure it's happened. So maybe one of the cats did it. Maybe George woke up and said, "Damn, Sarah." Good morning, Cindy. Good morning. No. Let me make sure. I'm going to go. Sarah, if you can hear me, I'm going to send you a message. What's up with that? Somebody just told George happy belated birthday. Did he have a birthday in June? I mean, we have our birthday month up and coming, and we're going to make plans to do stuff. So usually people start doing extra stickers and send money, or like within a few days of our birthday, they send it, and then we do even more stuff. But like the entire month, there's something going on. Like several of the pets have a birthday. You got the 4th of July, both of our birthdays. Our son has a birthday. His granddaughter has a birthday. Geez, everybody is in there. Everybody's birthday is in the month of July, so we've always done, like, we do a lot of stuff during that time. Yeah, I would totally close out of your phone, Sarah, and try that because I don't see you. Just sent a. I don't know what's up with that. It doesn't show your block. It happens. Discerning Dash. Sorry about that super chat. Thank you. If scammed for land/house, the Filipinas should be forced to sell and give the money back. If the relationship is based on disingenuous reasons, if not, more people will keep scamming. Not all locals. That is true. Um, it's, it seems it does happen in a lot of the Asian countries. It happens in the United States. You got these disingenuous people. Let me bring this down. And I also believe that, like this guy, I'll go into talking about him and start going through more of these. The guy that we're going to talk about today, being you mentioned this, and then of course, bringing up, the American man situation is he sunk all of his money. It seems to be that all of his money is gone. He's probably got some money. Oh, that's got this app installed to tell me when to drink and when to. It's like, yes, I would like a drink. That his money is gone. George said that that's it. And now she's got a new tapped income source of the baby and all this stuff. And she's like, he's okay with it. She's okay with it. If you go look at the basic psychology of what happened, that's just totally all screwed up. That relation's totally, and you can't stay friends. Like George says, you can't live on the property, have the new girlfriend come and live there because you sunk all your money into her property. It's allegedly her property. I still thought it was family land. Maybe she built the house on family land because they're nearby. And then now he's invested all this money in the piggery and everything. And now she cheated on him. And they've known for a while. They tried to play it off like it was just recent. It wasn't just recent. They knew before she left, before the baby was born. That's 6 months ago. So they've continued to lie to their people in full deception. We're not talking about like a little bit. They're still collecting large amounts of money, based on for the charity and that they're still together and they're not. But in a case like that, first off, the guy's got to be willing to prosecute or go after him. I'd probably say 90% of them are super simps and they'll never do it. And maybe they're just super passive and they just won't do nothing. I love them and everything else, so they move on. Now, this new guy that is homeless, that is on the thumbnail, the information that I found out about him is that he is a 31-year-old Slovenian, or from, Slovenian, living in Parenque. Okay. Hasn't had a bath in at least 2 weeks. It said it had been a while since he had taken a bath. So he's just living homeless on the street, 31 years old. Real estate guy. Okay. And I believe it. The guy says he has 3 apartments that are bringing in income. Now, how can that be if he's still homeless? So is it going into a bank account and his current spouse actually has it? I don't know. But according to him, he owns 3 apartments. So the story starts to fall apart in my eyes. And by the way, this is done by that same Filipina that likes to put these homeless expats and other, she of course refers them as AFAM. She had found another one. And of course, comes with pros and cons on the comments that people think she's exposing them, that she's making her living, because she'll take one of them and she does like 30 segments. Hey, what's going on, Goo Goo Bear? There's Gucci Bear. Hey, Goo Goo, Mom doesn't have time. Do you mind? Oh, geez, she's got heavy nails. Goo Goo, you can't stay. Let go. Her nails are so heavy. That's where I got scratched there. Her nails just digs into me, and when I go to let her go, they pull out, and then I'm bleeding. But she tends to do it in long segments. She doesn't give all the information, and she drags it out, and then she keeps all of her apps open to collect money, and then she said, well, I gave him some money to eat, but yet she's collecting money. I'm not believing people are just giving $2 when you say, hey, this guy's living on the street. She does drag it out, so they say she's really, really making a living on this, and yeah, surely, fully. She's getting numbers on all of her platforms, so she is. But I must give a shout out that she is helping them. Now, according to the sources, this came up in my feed a few days ago. It's the same video that keeps going around. Like when she reposts over and over again, there's no up-to-date information, and she knows it, but she's not telling people. You would think that she would come out right away as if it was for God and for love and all of that. She would say, hey, this guy needs to get back home. Like there's no ending for none of her people. Like she doesn't give full plans. This is what they're doing. This is why we're asking. This is why I'm working. No, she just asks for the money. She shows she does a little bit of help, and then she'll come back in another week or two. And so this is why she's getting a lot of kickback on this. Okay. I shouldn't have to mention this, but for those that are watching that are new, this is a conversation, and that these live streams are an open conversation to be respectful to everybody. A few jokes aside, don't mind a little bit of ruckus. That, these are, I like to look at both sides. We're never going to flat out and say, hey, I hate Mark Thornton's widow and she needs to go to hell. These things are not what we do on this channel. It's basically trying to look at both sides. Everybody gets a chance. I don't know if I mentioned on the live stream or if this happened as of the last live stream. Some guy came in defending Mr. Trump, and the Kings thing came up, and then I forgot how it went, but he said that basically because of his comment, he was attacked in the comment section. Well, some things, guys, I can't, or George can't, we cannot actually control. There's no now, if somebody comes in and flat out calls somebody cuss words and says they need to be ding-donged with some butter, and then thrown into a river, then we know they're trolled, then they get tossed, or you're trying to take over the live stream as another vlogger. We also, this is where it's got to stop. So, group topic, guys. So, me saying this, there's lots of comments out about this. So, I'm just repeating what I've seen, some observation, and trying to cover both sides. But she does help them. So the rest of the story is he's been here only 6 months and he's broke, and there is a partner. So he's got real estate. If he's got him rented out, how come he's still on the street? Doesn't make any sense. I maybe the banking got cut off, but according to this, the partner and him have some issues with his documents. I still don't see what that would have to do. Maybe his banking did close down, but she knows, but there's no update on it. And no name was put out, but the guy is looking like a whole different guy. But there's a lot more homeless expats here, and biggest problem is the Filipinas that they're dating. Something goes wrong, so you get a toxic relationship, whether it's in the West, whether it's here. It's pretty much the same relationship, people. Women, I seen somebody who did a video the other day, and I'm like, same with the American women that did this thing talking about Filipinas, and he showed like a bucket, and this has been done like 100,000 times. They show where they pour in beauty and attitude and tempo and jealousy, and he's pouring in a bucket and all the things. I think it was passiveness, and they gave all these things, and I'm like, yeah, you guys are saying all these things about your own women, and then you're the same one that complains about the Western women. It's a woman. It's a woman. It doesn't become uncomplicated because you move here. They seem to think it's a magic fix, a magic powder, and it's not going to happen, guys. You have to be prepared. Now, I will let you know that today's live, if it wasn't for some of these updates and I wanted to cover it, there'll be a serious topic on the next one, and it's going to be dealing with retirement, like levels of retirement phases. So I've got this like totally been like looking at all these different things, and it's going to be very interesting on phases of retirement when you come to the Philippines, and it'll be unlike any other perspective that you've seen, because I watched a few videos and then I applied it to the Philippines, and I'm like, you know what? This is about being in the Philippines. Stages of, when you retire, and you're going to spend about a third of your time, depending on when you retire, to if you live to 92, yeah, it could be 25 to 30 years you're in retirement. So that's kind of something to think about. And then you add the complication of coming to the Philippines. So next live stream on Thursday will actually be about that for US time. But I don't know what this guy was planning or what he was thinking, but most of them you'll hear that. The other ones you'll actually hear it's because they're banking. We discussed this a couple live streams back. That's what it gets down to, the paperwork. And that's why I transferred and stopped getting it from the US. I've had to have a card replaced a couple times. The very first time I was on, like, I couldn't reach any of the money. So it's, we actually got money from George's family. We was locked down, two different banks we couldn't do anything with. We couldn't believe it. One needed a card in an attempt to get into the other one. We got locked out. So we had to wait for a new card, and we were screwed and had two sources to get to the money. And this has happened to so many of the vloggers that have discussed this. And I just seen Mike's retirement that just covered, that looks like he is, or I didn't get through the whole thing, that he is or is going to transfer his Social Security and the banking here. And I think it's a good ideal. If you have to go back home in the end, then do it back. But if you're like me that have no intentions to go back whatsoever, then I would be getting your Social Security and setting up banking. If you want to leave one open there in case there's some sort of government issues, that's different. But there's too much scariness to losing the money that says you should. But it does require certain visas, and you have to have certain status here, and the accounts aren't the easiest to open. But yeah, so the guy's out of his money. So the guy is totally, totally like shit out of luck. I feel like something's not being told. Eventually, I'm sure that'll get updated, but looks like a Filipino is being blamed over documents and something else. And where is the money? And he's young. So you came here to live here long term. I guess his plan was to live on the actual rentals of his property. But where is that money now? And I mean, to get back home should be fairly inexpensive. With those, he didn't have shit money, like ticket money to get out of the country. That is the crazy part. So, what's going on with the dog? He's probably barking at the kittens. It's weird. That's how I found him out there. I could hear him yapping, and Willie is like the guardian of the yard and the neighborhood, and he'll bark like if, like right now, one of them is inside the trike. He could be barking at him right now, or it could be somebody in the trash. It's I have to check to make sure it's not the landlord just standing there. Sometimes the landlord will just approach the gate and he doesn't even yell out. Has anybody else had the issue where the Filipinos will come to your door and they don't, like here, there's a gate that separates from our door, and this is very common. And we won't put a buzzer out there because, like George said, somebody will steal the battery, someone will take the unit, the kids will break it, so forget about it. So they do tend to yell out. But we have had half of them, including the delivery drivers, they'll just stand there. Like they want us to see them, and I get that the cameras are there, but unless we hear them barking a long period of time, we do not sit there and look. Yeah, see, there's nobody out there, so he must be barking at somebody up the street. So I have to make sure the landlord isn't out there. Kind of crazy, but yeah, sometimes they don't say nothing at all. More likely casino money from high rollers, not tourism money. Australia says Philippines tourism is way down. Yeah, they announced it was a full. Yeah, that might be, but even then, don't you think that's a little extremely high? You really think someone won billion, 109 billion USD? That's kind of crazy. Or trillion. Wait a minute, let me get that again. I wrote that down. Okay, yeah, $107 billion they claim was brought in this year. 5.9 trillion Filipino pesos. Kind of out there. How long do you think Ann Chubb's ex hooked up with the new expat? And is she still an Angelus? She's an Angelus. I thought she was going back I thought when I seen him crying in that live stream, he said it's because she needed to go back because of her kid and all that. She's here. So what was that, last week? So she's here because she just did a live last night and she was playing pool with her friends. And a few of the guys in there could be real, could be fake. But I will tell you the statement was, I'm currently paying her rent. And I know guys joke around, but there were comments about the support coming in for her, and it doesn't surprise me. So it never does. I mean, there are married Filipinas like that Barbie abroad or Barbie off grid or something, always in a bikini, got kids and her husband, and he's always there, and she's sitting there taking in money, giving sympathy. Ooh, that's a good one. Maybe not next live stream, the one after that. Sympathy in the Philippines. I will try Facebook. Yeah, that is really strange. I don't see that you're. Hey, what's going on, Rob? Good morning. Hello. And a shout out to the sister channel for anybody that is on the other channel. Hey, what is going on, Ronan? Howdy. Is regular guy the father? No, it's not regular guy. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with regular guy the other day. Seems to be doing good. We talked through Messenger. I still stand by all that stuff. He mentioned, oh, and that's another update. It looks like that what's his name put out a new video on his channel. Oh, geez, what is his name? Q's Adventure. And then he opened Q something. He opened a second one, and that's where the videos have been. A month has gone by. He did put a new one on his channel. Here's the thing. He's not trying to hide. Now, do I believe he's behind a few weeks on videos? Could be. He could be in a different area. But he says according to his hashtags and what he put, it said tours, Q's Adventure Tours, hashtag tours, and he had all that in there. To me, it's indicating he's doing tours. And it showed him at a resort, and he did say he was going to do something about a resort. So he's right in plain sight. And I did contact that kid to say, hey, I know we've talked to the police and they asked a question about him. We got a hold of the local. But I said, he is right there. I said, so if they're really looking for him, then there he is. And so I said, we're not a detective. We've covered him, but I'm just letting you know that he's in plain sight right now. And, we're just covering him. It doesn't mean we're doing the full manhunt. And then at one point, the kid, okay, that was his employee, actually said something about not trusting the local police department that we contacted. I'm like, so which is it? They came back and asked us where he was. So supposedly, Q's girlfriend has ties to the people there in Lapu-Lapu, so nothing's unsure. And I will let you know, nepotism is very strong. I think they said 7 or 8 police chiefs were just let go from the police force throughout the Philippines, and that we know all the corruption is going on, guys. So, but he, it was just a basic conversation, and in thinking about that, it's, I like regular guy. Sure, is there things that Sunshine Shoulders does, or he does, or these other guys are doing? Yeah, but I'm not the police either. I just cover some content on it, and some of those offenses are pretty serious. Kona. And we never had any girls that came forward and said, hey, he did this to me. You guys, some of the guys claim that they seen him talking or doing this and that, and it's like, what's up, But I've seen the actual documents on Q, so those didn't look fake to me. And the police said they were real documents. So then what? Okay, there's accusations. Until prosecuted in the court of law, enjoy yourself. What's going on? Good to let these foreign men get a clue about how things legally work here. Dash is right, but we all know that the courts here always side with the Filipinos. Yes, that is true. I'm gonna let you know that I just seen this situation where somebody had tried to bring a defamation suit. If it was anywhere else but the Philippines, you have to show usually that there is like is it called malintent? Like you meant to be so cruel that like money was lost. You're laying on the couch crying all day and all this. When Filipinos say that they, oh my God, defamation, they've been talking, they take it to the next level because here in the Philippines, if you cuss somebody out on the spot, they will go and get somebody and try to sue you. Not all, but it is very common practice. And I've had some similar like stuff going on, and I'm like, yeah, it's like that was never the intent. So in real courts around the world, that's what you would have to prove in order to go after somebody. And so yes, I get it. If they take a Filipina, it would, and they are. Most of the time I hear these expats lose. So it's something that you have to think about before you actually get in. If anything goes south in any foreign country, like if you go to Mexico or Belize or you go somewhere else, then you're dealing with another level. So dealing with a whole nother level. George is getting up. So yeah, it's a whole different situation. Yeah. Different level. And thank you so much. Yeah, it's for like a cup of coffee a month. Mostly it's just going to everything. So mostly right back into the pets. Right now, if those kittens stay out there, then we're probably at about a dozen cats. And here's the thing, sadly, half of them belong somewhere else, but we feed them twice a day. George said feed them once. That's all they need. But I know they're always on the run, so they use a lot of energy. And so we feed those cats twice a month, and we drop the flea oil on them when they look bad. Like there's some out there that look like they got mange, so we actually put some oil on them. And so, but it's much appreciated. Thank you, Linda. Nah, he's a man of God. Gotcha. We can't vote and seen as rich, so they don't care about being fair. Yeah. And that's the sad thing when it comes to that, is that I know that even the guys at the lowest amount, like they come here on bare minimum stuff and they are broke, they're always going to see the Americans and Canadians as being super rich. And it's like when I first got here, it was overwhelming for me. I was trying to adjust to the country, like totally not doing anything, like just like at least in the US, we were always going somewhere I could drive, I could go see family. And even though I've been disabled and officially retired for like probably 10 years before that, well, it wasn't quite 10 years. Let's say 50, 54, yeah, probably about that. That um it was hard because it just seemed like every other person was asking for money. But we did arrive right in the pandemic where everybody's finances were hurting. I'm really surprised as the bounce back that's going on here in the Philippines. And so that's actually going to happen. Yeah, and you definitely could be able to vote. And it's rare they make citizens. I think they've only made 15 altogether. I think Kulas might have been number 16 or 14. So to me, that's, it is up to the Philippine government. But even if you have all the things that they're looking for and, all the things to become and you want to, they're not going to give it to you. You have to, it's an act of their Congress to put you through. And I'm like, I get it. I really do. But on the other hand, let's see, I don't tip. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They were talking about the different nationalities. You know what? They said tipping in America is out of control. Like there's percentages on everything. And here it's not expected, but the other day I got caught up that I ordered because now I've been getting like on Sundays I get X amount of like groceries where I need certain things. I found that there was a check. I've removed it before. There was a check inside of the tip box, and I've been giving cash tips every time they got here, and I now just caught on to that. So now I've been double tipping for probably about 2 weeks. And so that's fine. It's not like it's extensive. At 100 pesos, it's $2, but it does add up. So I'm like, dang it. The check is back in, and I checked, and yes, they've been getting both. And so some don't, depends on the country. It's not common. Somehow there's more of a, where I feel it's a responsibility. It's supposed to be for good service. And it's a, because I've been doing it situation, but a lot of times it's not always good service throughout the world. But here it seems like it's a, what they call silent quitting. And I would too at the wages. That's for sure. Yeah, and that's another thing, Ronan. I feel bad if I don't tip. It's just something in me that says, "Hey, that's not right," and that's human. That's human. And we just got used to it. Other countries, they just don't do it. There's a lot of them that don't. Thank you again, Discerning Dash. Bless you. We'll be putting you at Jesus' supper's table in November. I only give tips if service charges are not added. It's difficult to tip when multiple servers serve. Yeah. And that's another thing. I feel bad sometimes giving tips to just one person. We do get that. I notice that sometimes, like, especially if we're at Candy Palace, we've had multiple servers come to the table. And then there have been times that we'll give out way more because there were so many of them. And if it just would have been one, she could have got 400 pesos, or it just seems like we were given 100, and we said give one to each of the girls, and they did. They had to split it up. And so and I noticed that when we went to what was that, Denny's, multiple servers will come up, and I don't, the organization is kind of crazy, along with out of stock. That's, but no, I get that. And then you're right, some of them did. I believe Denny's was one of them that had the service charge, but it's a Western restaurant. I'm a good tipper. Hey, Slick Rick is in the house. There it is. That was it, Lack a Spot. Ashley's Furniture, Crate and Barrel, Kohl's. Yeah, I think it's Ashley's Furniture that I knew in Florida, and it depends on what you were looking for, or if there was a sale. Yeah. Black spot, simping. It's the Filipinas that go on there and they just do the dances on their live streams, or they're cooking and they're in a wife beater tank that's cut really low, or as they're cleaning house. It's the ones that don't really have any content. They just do some basic karaokeing and they don't really come up with any content. And they clearly know the guys are the only content watchers that they have. They flirt and they answer sexually, or as simping channels. It's the ones that bring in men only, that have zero to no content, the ones that know they're putting out those vibes only to make the money. And that, but they'll say that about us, that, this is all just being done for, because retirement, and that I'm just talking crap just to, and that brings in my money. But to each his own. But it's the simps on the other side. That there was one, I put a short out, I think, on the other channel, where they were giving out $100 to that bikini girl, or that Barbie girl. And she's got her husband sitting right next to her and her two small kids. And they're not trying to help her. There is no end to their stupidity to give out 100, 500. And here's the thing. I've heard these guys say they really don't have any money. Some of these guys are on Social Security back in the U.S. and they got some money in the bank, and they're figuring, oh, what's the big deal? If you don't have to have that eye candy. Go to one of those corn hub sites and beat it up, man. Just beat it up. I mean, give me a break. But they're giving out large amounts of cash for people that I feel are just okay. I heard this guy said in his video, I saved the video because it was legit. The guy's like, oh, I'm here, and he's over there, I think it's Station 1 over in what's it called? But he's over on one of those islands where it's all vacation, and a Boracay. And I almost said Cebu. That's what was going through my head. He said that the women are tens here. Like, he went on that every woman that he's met in the Philippines, just not there, everywhere, is at a 9 and 10. I'm like, dude, you must be thirsty. I believe he was American. And it's like, every time I look around, at different social media platforms, Facebook, yeah, there are women that are heavy set and overweight and all that, but they've got a lot of beautiful women in the United States. Don't say that they're, but man, he put all of them at a 9, 10. And I'm like, talk about thirsty and simping. And then right after he goes, I think I'm going to come here to live and I'm going to get me married. And he was serious. I'm going to come here and come back soon and I'm getting married. And I'm like, wow, dude. So he already had his plans set up. Crazy orange juice. Oh, yeah, simping. It's actually when I started a couple years ago, I got a lot of those terms from MYK's channel and a couple of the other ones. You'll hear Sunshine Shoulders even saying talking about the simps and stuff because it's somebody that just crashes so hard over these women and they're waiting in the wings. When Mark was still alive, Mark Thornton, they were already hitting on her every time that she was on. David Campbell and Rose, they used to get on fights on air because they would clearly come in and they'll troll at him and give him a hard time and then say, looking good, look at your bottom. You look really good in that tight dress. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Men are men and women are women. No, none of them going to refuse stickers. I'm not going to refuse sticker money. It's like, hey, bills are bills. Never claim to be rich. I get it. But it's it's some of it kind of like this Peachback Mountain channel. They clearly knew they were using simping, and she cheated with another expat, and they continued to tell people that they were married. They're not married. She's married to somebody else. That the baby was his. They use that for content, and that was just a blatant. That was like a bonus of the year. And by the way, I think we made $20 off of that, sweetie. I made $300 on it. Oh, good for you, honey. You better put that towards the college, because I bet your baby's daddy will probably kick the bucket way before you finish that money. Because oh, by the way, did you guys know that we found the photo of the dad? George was like, oh my God, she went from the frying pan into a popcorn popper or something. Like the guy is just as old. He's probably only 10 years difference, and he's kind of overweight, and he is big and gawky. So he looks to be way taller than her boyfriend. I guess it's not her husband. But the whole point is she didn't level, to me, she didn't level up. But he will pass away before that kid turns 18. So then she's just going to be without a payment. Let's see how your YouTube channel goes there. Like a spot saying, hey, I can tell you're on coffee. Yeah, I think there's more clarity because we were eating out a couple times a week, fast food. George was bringing in biscuits or donuts several times a week. We were eating the packaged food. There's all kinds of stuff that we were actually doing. And every time I go off of it, there's a lot more clarity and alertness. I've also been trying to be more self-conscious on trying to get better sleep. I mean, I'm still going to get up at 4 or 5 a.m., but instead of getting 4 hours sleep, I try to, like meditation. I have to, because the lupus is kicking in overdrive right now. So hopefully getting off of all the stuff and cleansing and drinking green juices, hopefully this will make a difference. Yeah. I think it's just because I got good sleep last night. Pablo, don't be worried, brother. I've been called worse. Hey, what's going on, Ted? Hola, Ted is in the house. Ah, Linda too, birthday in July. Yeah, it's, we've been closer. We started other social media before we started the channel. I think it shows 2020 on the social media for YouTube. And every year that we've done this, we always go and do something. And like throughout the month, we put different things on and do more live streams. And that's if George will be joining. It could just be me celebrating. Happy birthday. There's George right there. They're resting. Resting. I almost said rip, little buddy. News. Rest in peace, little buddy. I mean, he's just resting. Hey, I've seen stranger things on social media. Like I just seen a girl like her stuff is in, what do they call that? Like when it loops over time, syndicate or something. I just recently caught on to it, but her husband's been gone. And it's like you'll see stuff of her and them, and then I guess when you see the individual ones of her, it just kind of blends. And so I thought he was still alive. He has not been alive for a while. He had some sort of concussion and boom, out. And I'm like, ah. So, but although, I want to make a statement about George. Although I've bitch, complained, and then I've talked, it doesn't mean that I don't respect him or love him. And sometimes I do run on my emotions. No marriage is easy. And when you come to a foreign country, it's going to get harder. It really is. I don't know how many of those couples that are in social media where they break up and they've been in there a while, or they pretend that it's not causing issues. We've always put it out, that it's doing this or that, and then you're dealing with different things, and then everyday life. And I just we have worked things out, but there's still a level of, whether he wants to return or not. And a lot of people feel that being he's not. We had one or two comments that came through in an email that, well, I wouldn't come back either if I was attacked by my wife. And it's like, well, you know, I am here and I've tucked everything in because nobody knows everything. Just like Brokeback Mountain, the American Woman, and Dave and Rose, and all these couples we've talked about. She mentioned today the American man, Filipino wife. She mentioned today that doesn't everybody know anything? And I was like, honey, we said that. We know that we don't know everything. He could be crapping his pants every day. She could be working 10 times harder. He could have already cheated on her several times. He could be drinking so bad and cussing her out every night. Everybody's going to go through something. And, originally we were given the, Heidi beats on George and she's so mean and she's the typical American woman and, this and that's going on. But it's not always as it, seems. You're only getting part of it. And, um, the bottom line is we both have a lot of issues to work through, and we do. So it's how you work them out. And we try to separate the social media with what's going on. You take everything with a grain of salt. We take some of the recommendations. I've had a lot of people reach out about the fasting recently, and it just hit me that, hey, I need to do something. That and the scale. So it's like, oh, sheesh. But, we appreciate when everybody has been here, and hopefully he will return soon. But I have felt like the last few weeks, because maybe he's mad at me, I think he's going through the change. Somebody said he might be going through a depression. Here's George. Anybody who knows Filipinos, some of them just shut down, and George will. It's always been like that. He was like that with his previous wives. He was like that in his other relationships. Some of his family, he doesn't open up to all the way. And so it just, I think it's, Filipinos are definitely different. And so I won't force his hand. I have been very angry at him, and I'm like, well, you're going to do this. Like when we've gotten into it, well, you're going to do this today. I need you to go out. And that's about as demanding as it, but it's like, you just get to your wits' ends and stuff. So hopefully he will return soon. And, we got our birthday month coming up. I'm hoping that he gets rest, and, I'm just going to let him, what I call, stew in a tea bag and juices, and just let him sit in a little honey tea bag and just like hang out until he always has. So what's it been, 6 years? And so we kind of know what's actually going to go on. But yes, birthday month. Yay. Not to be mean, but you look like Mimi from Drew. Oh, I don't take any offense, honey. This is not meant to be beautified. So, of course. So, I've got all the wigs. This is just meant to be something different than staring. Like when I see this is what our live stream's always been about. Like when George dresses up as Ricky, he's not the most attractive with Ricky. He gets called a male Yoko Ono. He gets called all kinds of things. That doesn't stop. But I get it. I was wondering when people would we've had somebody say this before, but yeah, no, not a big deal. I'm well aware, especially when I wear the blonde one. I've been wearing it, and the eyeshadow is intentional. It's just meant to go with my green shirt and everything. And I don't wear makeup. I think makeup is for ugly women. My grandmother has clearly stated it. You need it to enhance your beauty. If you have a regular beauty, makeup was meant to enhance that, not to, like Mimi, like clown it out, but kind of, but yeah, my grandmother was right about that. I every now and then I wore makeup when me and George dated, and all the men. And so I'd put a little bit of eyeshadow, like very little, but mostly just enhanced with mascara or little bit of lipstick. And that's it. My grandmother, her entire life, woke up, put her eyebrows on because hers aren't like mine. It was just a thin line on my grandmother. And she put red lipstick on, nothing else her entire life. So, and that's the other one that said that. So, both sides. Only ugly women need makeup. ¿Dónde está George? No habla español. ¿Dónde está George? El Sleepo. Sorry. ¿Dónde está? ¿Cómo está usted? El Sleepo, El Chapo, El Laco, El Bottomo. I can't imagine being in a situation like that, having it all on YouTube. Yeah, I get that, Ronan, and I'm assuming you're a new channel that's coming in to, check out what's actually going on. It happens a lot. It's happened with us. It happened with that couple. And here's the thing: it's nothing new. This is what I noticed. I heard Kevin Hart at the BET Awards. He mentioned everybody's got a podcast now. So you can have a big actor that doesn't even need to do it. They do it anyways. Connect to their people. It's not about the money, or it is about them making money. Same with everybody. Every other guy getting off the plane is a YouTuber now. Then, if they're not, they're woman's TikToking or doing things. It is now the official way to communicate. So basically, instead of me meeting up with you guys, everybody's here in the room. That's the way I look at it, because the payment is not rolling into my bank, nor are we getting rich. It goes right into the pets. And so pretty much when the money comes in, it's about the time to refurbish all the cat food, wet food, fleet oils, and all these things that we get for the animals. So it's nice, but um, it is now the thing to do is to have these social media platforms. And yes, it all plays out. I mean, I thought our live streams were out there. I mean, there are like live streams that play out everything, like full blown out fights, full, like they're exposing their kids, what they're doing in their room. Like they might as well just put a webcam on everybody, is how bad the live streams are getting. So it's where it is. But you cannot say like her that she can't tell people, like right now, Jen is asking everybody, don't even walk up to me. I don't want to be disturbed. In other words, she probably is with somebody already. And she doesn't want to be approached and reminded of what's going on, or that she was on YouTube and putting out certain videos and all these other things, and just doesn't want to be bothered. But if you put out content and you're in the public eye, then she needs to shut it all down. It'll all go away eventually. That's just the way it is. But with you being on social media and your information is out there, then I've always said that, never denied that it's fair game that somebody will say, hey, I seen you and George fighting the other day. Are you guys okay? Then I would expect that, because it happened on air. Never stop that stuff. Or they know something about us in the United States, or something we've said about the family. Like, well, why are they asking us about that? You can't do that. And neither can Peachback Mountain or Sunshine Shoulders or anybody else. It's like, hey, why is everybody bothering me? It's kind of narcissistic at that point. Well, not narcissistic. That would be where it's about themselves. It'd be like them putting out their information about themselves, wanting everybody to know it. Yeah, it is narcissistic. And then not wanting to share. And it's kind of like, why are you bothering me? It's like, dude, you put that stuff out there. You wanted people to see that. So it is a trait. So, a good question, Rona. I have to take a shower every day. There's no way I could go 2 weeks without, right, or twice a day like we do. Easily, me and George is 2-3 times a day, and there's AC and a dehumidifier in the house. It's just something different here. And this guy's homeless, so he's living on the street. He doesn't have the ability to get to shower, but I would go walking somewhere or go jump in somebody's water fountain. There's just no way I could hold that grime. Small person, big person, there's just no way. Even when I was a kid, it was always a constant shower. So the apartment he owns are from the Monopoly game he used to have, right? Yeah, and understand that a lot of the channels are severely exaggerating. Ain't no exaggerating here. We said that we came here with X amount of money, Social Security, some savings, and we do part-time YouTube, and that we're not rich. We don't plan to buy a house. We never even intended a car until his family gave him a used car. His sister bought it from his brother and gave it to us. What's it been, almost 2 years? We don't have the money. And so we're just, we're not like the best off here, but we're not the worst like this homeless guy. We're somewhere in between. And we, let people know, but some of them exaggerate. And a lot of these guys come here, they live on their credit cards, partial savings, they go broke, and they cycle through for a few months and they're out. I think we probably lose 4 out of 10 over homeless and girlfriend breakups and not being able to hack it. Probably more than that. I'd probably say half of them. So, hey, Sarah. Everybody saying hi, Sarah. No one can silence, right? I tried to throw you in that rat bin, man. Ah, the simps put the units in scamming Pino's name. Yeah, that tends to be. And here's the thing, when I first got here, I can see why guys do that because when I just had, I was on the Billy buy-in for 1 year, which was free when the pandemic happened. Then I was waiting. I waited about 2 years to go for the 13A. I wanted to make sure I was going to stay. It was part finances, not really. I mean, if you go through, it's not super expensive to do it, but I think it's a few hundred. I have to check what the price was. But I just waited for the 2 years to make sure because there's a good chance I could have left. I was bitching every 5 minutes. And um, so due to the status, some of the things we put right into George's name. So I can see that, like, like the cell phone, then there was a SIM card registrations. Now they've changed. Originally the SIM cards you couldn't, like I've just registered some in my name recently. And let's see what else. Originally, there was only the bank accounts in his name. So as always, the channel has been in his name. It goes into his bank account that, he has the access to. So there was that. And then he's got himself a PayPal account. I have one back in the US. But the whole point is that some of the things I did, I think the original rental, like the Airbnb was in his name. And then the original, and that was only for like 2 weeks we were there, the hotel rooms, but we're married. And so it tends to be, it was easier to do certain things. What was the other thing I started going? The first place we were in had his lease on it. So, and then when he got this, um, it was him that actually came through and got this place too. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I get it, but I don't think I would buy a condo that expensive or a house or do something that I would just flat out. Unfortunately, even married to George at this point, that'd be something I'd be like, listen, if we can't both be on it in case you fall down the stairs or something, you pass away or something. But I also get it. It's a man versus the woman thing. George has always said, and now I'm believing it, men and women are two different things. Men think one way, women think the other. And yeah, it's this happens so many, and it's been said and done so many different ways. And I think all the big channels you've seen have been through some. I think even old dog Paul has been in his own situation. They've all been through some sort of scamming. Geo, all of them have been through some sort of breakups and scamming, and and we've had our own issues, not George scamming me, but like scams that have happened, but not on large scales, like things from Lazada or, we had that wheelchair incident where somebody we knew in the neighborhood actually took the money and then didn't do what he was supposed to. We've had a lot of different things, but it's just, learn, live, and then learn again. Hey, SkyTech, what is going on? I watched Q Adventure's latest video and he was camping off grid, the land, sleeping in a tent. Ooh, is there another one out? Because the last one I seen, he said he was at a resort. He was interviewing a guy. Is there another one? And I know it stated that I would have to take a look at that. Was there another one since? Yeah, here's the thing. Unless somebody tells us or mentions it, it was regular guy that told us Q had a video. And I'm like, oh. The same with Peachback Mountain, American Man, Filipina, and Side Squeeze. That was somebody else that said, hey, they put out another video. And we're like, we're not going to watch it. But I was like, I might just do a live stream on that by itself. Oh, and of course, for the lovely other channels, the Filipina P just did a video, and her title was something about Filipinas smelling. Something about that, and I'm like, did she really go through that? But then when you go in there and watch, it says something about her mailbag, and allegedly it was a question. I'm like, no, allegedly you're making some content, but she said somebody reached out to her about that, and I'm like, yeah. A Filipina can stink too, just like I can stink, or the next woman can stink, big or little, sweetie. It's like, it's just content. Gotta love it. When did we become? Yeah. So I'm checking right now on the Q thing. It seems to be the same one. Okay, I didn't know he was off grid. That didn't appear to be off grid to me. He was at a resort. Is there another one? Did he do a live? I mean, that's a resort that he's talking to the guy. That's not off grid where he's at, unless he told people that he's. I am not sitting through Q's videos. I just can't do it. I don't have that time of day. I'd rather take a nap and uh, and watch all the videos from Peachback Mountains channel than to go through that. But looks like he's in plain sight. But yep, yo. Is there any good or positive news today, like awesome relationships that made it happen? Probably not. That's not what today is about. It'll be on the next live stream. So that will be the next live stream. Although, in dealing with different phases of retirement, probably still not going to hear what you guys want. I think that's what it's basically about. Drama sells. We've been doing that. And those are the channels that get the most views, and we're not using simping here, and I'm not using sweet mermaid music to bring you guys in. Bitch, this isn't Disney Plus, this is Drama Plus. But glad you're here, Jose. Always been here. Yeah, basically those are when I asked about what's in the news and what's trending, it did go through all that. There wasn't anything. It talked about the Duterte being thrown out of position, and yeah, what is good right now? When you watch ABC and all those others, most of it is, and then drama or not good news, and then at the very end they throw a positive clip in there. So I don't have to adhere to any of those. Leave it to the West. I think it makes it harder on Filipinos. Like George said, we trained our drivers to actually get ready. Like there for a while, every time he delivered something, and like somebody said, he delivers several times a day. Yeah, we were giving a tip to him several times a day, and it was our regular stuff that would have came. They don't really tend to have regular mailmen. Only once or twice have we gotten regular mail, and that's stuff from Social Security that got literally mailed in. And so we was tipping everybody, and we know other expats that are way worse. Like on 1,000 peso meal, they gave 500 pesos. I'm like, I'm not doing that either. It just makes it hard on the next person. What's going on? I know one thing that'll wake George up is lunch. So whether I make bacon or something else. Yesterday I made like Swedish meatballs, but it's more in a Parmesan cream cheese. It's more carb friendly, not close to heart attack friendly. Swedish meatballs. and then we put that over the rice, but we tend to make the rice now, and then you let it go cold, and it makes it starch resistant, a little easier to go through because George definitely has to have it, and turned out pretty good. I'm going to be reheating that. He was kind of excited. You guys hear that? George says, "Don't get to whole from this guy." He comes like at the last minute. It's like the scrapings at the bottom. He says, it comes through, yeah, 10/16. We're the last to go through. They go through all the different neighborhoods. Plus, I don't mind the tofu. We're okay with that, but the sugar boba stuff that goes on top definitely kills that 60 gram of sugar situation, or 50. Yeah. Simps are the opposite of pimp. I seen there was like something on Instagram. It showed this guy out of work pimp, and it said homeless or something instead of homeless. It was a real photo, and I was like, oh my God. So I do like the sign, and don't get your panties in a knot. The guy was holding up a sign, and I think we mentioned this on the last or the other live stream, where somebody says, we'll kidnap Trump for $5, and everybody was giving him five, and it's like, oh, come on, guys. So it was, you know, we'll kidnap Ellen DeGeneres for $20. Yeah. Show the picture. Which one? Of the guy? It's on the thumbnail, the one that I have. Hey Joe, yep, that's him. LOL Rodney. You described him perfectly. Thanks for explaining simps to the audience. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking about the girl or, yeah, just let me know what that is. If anything, I'll put it in a community post. I mean, I've got screenshots of the guy. The one on the right is him not taking a shower for a while. Yeah, George is funny. Very emotional, very loving, you know, may over explain the way I over explain or get moody, but he's still mine. And, it's the reason that we're together. Cut his money off. Regular guy showed a video of a car accident in Tacloban where there were dead bodies on the road hanging out of the vehicle. Do you have any information on that? No. If you guys will check our Facebook, it's probably not under the Philippine Antics account, but there is a George Mendoza Philippine Antic account, our main one that most of you guys are on. And I've been reposting yesterday a bunch of them. I guess once you show one, they feed through the feed of showing you others constant. And there was one where the woman was crushed by the motorcycle and they literally picked her off the ground, and you seen her doing this, and they were trying to stand her up, and somebody's like, leave her on the ground to wait for the ambulance. They picked her up, like her purse and everything, and she was like totally messed up, but they picked her up immediately. And it's like, don't pick her up. But no, I seen there was one where a guy was pinned his motorcycle up against a truck. It's kind of crazy here, the accidents, and they're constant. They're like really constant. We're not talking about like I-275 situation where a semi and a truck, one rear-ended, and then you have them like that, and you don't even see they're in there as you go by. No, this is some pretty serious stuff they show here. It's kind of crazy. Probably could create an entire channel on it. George, YS going through Tampa. Like I said, you guys are just going to see it more on me. Like when I popped up and said, screw it, I ain't doing this, and you better not, like me going off, it's like there. For George, he can do the stoicism really well. Like, that's what he was doing on air, but 10 minutes before, I could not shut him up. I mean, no matter, please, George, calm down. And this is just over simple things these days. I think he's going through the change. I think he's going through whatever the hormones and that. He'll be 51 next month. There's something. And so I'm never wrong. I'm never right. I'm somewhere in between. And then he just goes silent. And now, being I said that he probably what he's going by right now is I said I didn't know if he would or wouldn't come. So then if I said it'll be a month, it could be a month before we see him. That's just George. If I say something, he just goes, he'll either go with it or go against it. So my guess being, as I said, he won't be around for a while. He'll probably wait that month out and just take a small vacation. I can't bring him back in. He's either going to be here or he's not. So he just sleeps, and maybe he needs to sleep. That's where I'm at on that one too. There's something going on. I'm his keeper, but not his keeper. I'm his best friend. I'm a mother figure. Like, I do all this stuff. Like, I arrange like what's going on with the bills, the medicine, and I know that's what he enjoys. So it's kind of like, but I can't. He's definitely like a 14-year-old kid when it comes down to being stubborn. Like, I have to say, "Did you take your vitamins today, George?" And then he just gets all frazzled, and it's like, I love you. I'm doing this. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. It's what I've always done. It's just deep rooted in me to do this. So, hey, working for nothing. I like my women with a little too much rouge. There you go. Donna. Well, yeah, and I don't. I'm now, I've been reading a couple articles about it and to understand. And here's the thing: the internet is a wonderful thing and a horrible thing at the same time. If it had been my grandmother and grandfather's relationship, I'm going to give you a little story real quick about my grandparents. My On my dad's side, my grandfather passed away. I believe he was like 62. He drank himself to death. My grandparents owned two different houses, and he was a very bad alcoholic. And there was the farm that my dad was raised on, really nice farm, lots of land in Ohio. And then, due to the alcoholism, my grandmother smartened up and went and got another place after the kids. Most of them were military, so we are a military family, and they lived in separate places. They were there during the events. She had gone there. He had been at the house, but they had lived separate. That worked for them. They stayed married, but had separate residence. And just, she couldn't. He would not give up the alcohol, and she. I don't know the personal story of how long she struggled with him, his cheating, all these other things that were going on. I don't know if she went through this, hey, you better do it, in this anger stage, because me and George has been through that. I felt angered, ignored, and all these other things. But it's a very, it can be complex, can be extremely complex. And for relationships that were that far back, and God, this had to be 70s, 80s, 90s, there weren't all, if you didn't go to a psychiatrist, you wouldn't have heard half the stuff you hear now. Now everybody's a relationship expert advice. There's thousands and thousands on the internet, probably even millions. The same with all the social media platforms. A lot of them are just AI generated, a lot of them are AI information. Very few are actually doctors. But you do learn a lot from watching some of these, and you're like, yes, this is us. No, that's not us. This could happen. But it kind of puts your mind at ease. Like, I understand he's probably going through something, but before I just said, oh my God, he hates me because he's not here. Or then I had to put it on me and vice versa. And so there's a lot to actually learn in it. I think it's making me a better person and a little bit more patient. Now, some things I'm just at a breaking point, so emotions, hormones, and all of that. But George has a lot of patience. So, the argument that day was pretty simple, but it just seems these days it's a very short fuse. And he has admitted, I think it's been about 3 months ago, he said there's something wrong. And I was like, well, yeah, I can tell. And it doesn't happen too often. So I just think he's going through, I don't know what the real menopause is. He really, where he's going through the emotions, but, you know, there is a difference between confident and mean. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the makeup thing or the Mimi, or and then if that has anything to do with the Mimi thing, I'm okay. I mean, this is not meant to be, yeah. And everybody, as said, has the right to, make their comments. There's limits, yes. George is home in Pino land, so back to controlling and bone. Okay, Pino lazy. Okay. Hey, Mary. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me get that for you. You're right. Okay, that's what you wanted to see. Yeah, let me get that. Let me see if it was here. In fact, I know. Sarah, didn't I send that to you? I think I did. I don't know how well it's going to show up. I'd like to send Sarah. Oh, so that had to be the other Sarah account because Sarah's got like 9 accounts. Just kidding. Lots of flooding going on, guys. That's another thing besides the car accidents is there's been a lot of flooding from the rain. It's insane. All right, so let me see. That's probably as clear as you guys are going to get because it was a screenshot and they did not have good lighting. See the guy, the big guy over there? I'm probably pointing in the wrong direction. I believe her boyfriend, her Honey Bear, Honey Bones, or whatever. He's a tall, super skinny, older looking guy, and the guy that she's with looks to be plus size, probably at least 70, 80 pounds or 100 pounds heavier than him. So that would be why whose damn white baby, big baby is that? It's this guy's. And he's not a looker. There's nothing extraordinary. He must have a good personality and a big wong wong and must have fit the bill. But he doesn't look to be much younger. Her current guy seems to be the previous one for him being in his I'm not getting his age right because I mean I'm really not invested in it to know, like, there was a lot of corrections. I know there's a 25-year age gap. It seems like 100, but the guy aged really bad. Really, really, really bad. And he looks way older. This other guy can't be a 10-year difference. He's got to be almost 60 himself or older. The new guy's probably collecting Social Security. He might even be 62. I don't know, but he's a big guy. So yeah, so he's got glasses, oversized chin. He reminds me a lot of, well, to give you a face to go with a kind of Jack Black overweight situation. But she called him both her husband. He did visit. She says she calls all of her viewers her husbands. Well, yeah, honey, if I tell you guys you're all my husbands and you're my best friend, you're my best friend. Where's my birthday gifts? Oh, best friends. Then maybe I'm not trying hard enough. I got a conscience. It's kind of like, that's why that's why we like with the cats. We know where we're at on that. A lot of people are like, oh, you guys are just using the cats. Okay, maybe we're cat pimps. Maybe we're pimping in and pimping them out and putting them back out on the street and whatever it is we're doing. But God love these cats and animals here. Our heart goes out to the dogs and cats. Now, Mary is in a rescue. Mary, you want to say hi? Hey, want to say hi to everybody with your they said they got rid of, remember I said today they got rid of some of the police? Well, guess who's in position now? It's Mary Berry. Hey, Mary. Want to say hi? Want to say hi? Look, look. Why you being scared with your police uniform? The police. Hi. Want to say hi? Say hi. What's up? Hello. What are you doing? You gonna fall back? Got your nails did? Speaking of pimping out, show them your nails. That doesn't your jolly bees. By the way, she just had a haircut 2 weeks ago. Look how long the hair is. Was you sleeping? Did I wake you up? Yeah? I'm gonna go jump on Dad. See you, silly. Hey, puppy, chair. Go down, silly. So Mary was not stray. Mary is, George got her for Christmas last year, but like 2 months in advance. And then Willie, we got him from the guy Willie up the street. There had to be 300 ticks on him, and he was so underweight. I'll have to try to find some of the original footage, but we love the animals. So, but anyways, so I'm kind of mixing the things here. I've made 2 posts here, saw them for a minute, and they disappeared. Yeah, see, that's got to be YouTube. That cannot be StreamYard. Sarah had the same thing, so maybe it is. I'll have to see if the new streaming software is causing an issue. But if they're coming on and disappearing, that wouldn't be on just Restream. That would be dealing with YouTube also. That's what I mean. I think there's an issue going on. Let me see. Okay, I see your post. The one, it is here. Now, I will let you know that YouTube holds about 50% of the comments. We've seen them. It goes into a pile, then we release them later because we're not doing it during the live stream. If it's held and it's based on some of our words, the moderators can see it. So certain words that don't seem negative to people do, and that could be, but I don't see where anything's being held. So based on like our word list, you know. Like I'll say bitch on air, but I think bitch is one of the words, that are being held. No, I don't see the other one, and I don't see anything being held, Grammy. So, no, but that's what he tends to want. He married a woman, and he knew that I cook, clean, wash his laundry, put his clothes out, and went through all of that. He knew that too. And I get that also. And I've learned that. That's something that I'm learning. So I have been, but is it too late situation? In other words, now I just let it go. And I don't say, are you taking your medicine? But if I don't, he won't take it. So it's up to him to change. So I agree, modified. I know I can't mother him. I've tried. I've been at a point of frustration where I've demanded, I've yelled, and so it has gotten that. And I realize I'm wrong on some of them things, and we do talk these things out, but the Filipinos tend to shut down. Like I can't get them here lately. It's been zilch. And so I get that. So now I just have to let him do whatever. But there is a limit for me too. Like if he's not taking his medicine and then it's causing a serious health issue, then I still have to do it. Your partner should want the best for you. Your partner should, at that point, realize why. So it takes two. So tell George to grow up and quit acting like a kid. We've both been through it. Like, I mean, I've been guilty of so many things. I mean, I'll let you know that right now, but it's been a quiet environment for more than a week, and I have asked him to join. So I can't do anything more than that, and nothing happened that would warrant him not to, except for he just hasn't since last year. Everybody knows this. Everybody has watched me, watched him, and he's, it's where it is. I see your radar. Going through the change, LOL. Take him off the ledge. Hey, I've been on my own ledge, believe me, since I've been here. And so, yes, it is. Of course, yes, it should state that it's live, Eugene. Of course. Yeah, it's still showing it's live. Yeah, lives, that's what we do. We have 1,400 videos that includes lives. We're live at least 2 to 3 times a week. So on average, 2. So, and has been for many years, and we are the only channel that does what we're doing. I can state that a lot of people are like, oh, there are other expat, there's American women and Filipinos, and not at retirement and not doing the content that we've done, and not as long as we've been doing it consistently. So it still doesn't exist. So that still makes us number one because we're about the only ones. And American. A lot of people are like Western. Yeah, a lot of those couples are Western, and the ones I know that are in their 40s and 50s, or you just have a young couple that's really not living here. We're living here permanently. A lot of those guys that are Filipino also lived their entire lives in the United States, Filipino heritage. But George was born and raised here, had a family before he left, family here, family there, best of both worlds. I thought I hit the wrong button. Huh, interesting. Got to be the streaming with them today. Men don't go through change. Menopause, that's Ebola. Unless you meant baloney. It's just laziness and manipulation. Hmm. I've watched relationship videos over the last couple years and know a little bit about it. I just think it's just being stubborn. That's another thing you guys have heard me say. I think it's just something. So, and because George is not lazy. I mean, by any means, he likes to get out and go do things. I've relied on him to do a lot of things. And his previous company and other jobs was constant working. So that he's not. But he will stop based on something going on. So if he is upset, then yes. But I wouldn't call it laziness. It's just a form of he's just, fed up situation. And so when he decides he doesn't want to do something, he just stops. So that's just where it is. Yeah, we're both Cancer. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Laura? Yeah, we're both Cancer. And I think they say it has something to do with it. But here's the thing I learned recently is I am absolutely on the cusp of being a Leo. And I do show all Leo signs. I went through them the other day. And then you have other people that said it's based on the hour and this and that. And that horoscopes are crap. And I don't know. But everything that it shows under Leo, I'm probably 75% of, like I'm that, and that's part of, you know, but I'm the most caring, loving, you know, situation that goes on for probably about 90%. And then the other percent is like fire. And so the same animals that I care so much about, it's like, they work your nerves and it's like, hey, listen, everybody's going to get locked down or be thrown outside today. So straighten up. But so it's just where it is. So, all right, guys. Well, I think I will wrap it up. And so basically, the homeless guy situation of another one. Again, I'm not sure exactly how he has 3 apartments but no money. And then the girl that's covering it has been Filipino, and she's getting a lot of flack. But yet, there's a lot going on in that. We had the updates, how I felt about the videos today as a wrap up. And we are having glitches with software. I'm going to go look through and see something. Maybe there's an update because I was trying to use CapCut. And like I said, we have a newer system now. And CapCut was like the audio was like cutting in and out. And so we don't know what. So it could be something with the new system, not the computer. I believe it's a software now. I think our software is ahead of the other software, which is probably true because the software will stop updating for Windows, I believe 10. It will stop updating in October. So everybody's going to be forced into 11 anyways, or their stuff isn't going to catch up. So maybe those 2 apps are not caught up. I don't know. But I know that now that this is acting up, something's up. So dun, dun, dun. There are 12 houses. Yeah, and Cancer is your sun sign. I am less than 12 hours to being Leo. Less than. So they're saying that could be why I'm showing, you know. Yeah. See you later. Why are people so judgmental? They are and they always will. It doesn't matter. They're since the beginning of time, and it depends on the situation. Is it judgmental? Is it just putting truths out there? Is it, but I notice everybody is judgmental. Everybody. And that could be a problem. I think it's just part of being human. So see you guys later. And thank you to everybody that's members and did stickers today. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Discerning Dash. And thank you, Linda, for being part of the Antics. And let's see, Sarah. Sarah was in the house today. Thank you. Black Grandpa, thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Chosen One. Birthday month coming up in less than 2 weeks. We'll take that crypto coin. Call you guys nonsense. Izzy and Chris was in the house. All right, guys. We will talk to you later. And thank you for the likes. All right, guys. Talk to you later. See you in a